Hi, I'm the artist MzMuffin, an R&B contemporary singer of the Caribbean. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and I am at OMG magazine. I have, when I was very young, like eons ago, in primary school, they asked children who would like to be in the choir. And I put up my hand, and they had a little singing test. You were supposed to sing for the choir masters and the teachers. And lo and behold, I got into that school choir with my primary school, and we went to music festival. And from then, singing has been a love of my life. I sing in different choirs, primary school, high school, senior choir, full choir, and in church. I am Catholic and have sang in Charismatic Renewal and during Mass. Because I love singing and because it is a part of my life, I do it on a daily basis. I would go around, my daily life, my daily routine, just singing until I decided, well, why don't I try to, or at least attempt to sing on solo on a professional level? Right about, 12 years ago, I decided to see how my voice would sound actually recorded. So that was my first, recording. It was Oh Holy Night that we see sometimes on television, on Temple Networks, and I decided to make my own album. I made Prelude, I made an album called Immaculation, and I'm working on my third musical piece of art called Shaman. It has a few singles released so far, but the album is still in the works. It's still a work in progress. It's in the making, as the creative process is interesting and move along with one's life. So I intend to include a few pieces in the album Shaman that are North American market friendly. So I've teamed up with some producers and engineers in the United States, and I'm just embarking upon that piece of the project right now, and I intend to put in a little Latin American flavor in it in my R&B singing. I love all types of music. I think I listen to everything, and a lot of things influence my music and my artistic expression. I also love a film. I also like the art of storytelling on film, and I have currently produced a short film called The Net Sum of Life that is to be broadcast or screened via the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. So I'm hoping to, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping to increase my knowledge of film production and in marketing, film marketing in the wider world. Okay, my name is MzMuffin. In doing music, one has to register for a lot of different music sites. There's Reverb Nation, there's Bebo, and there are a whole lot of them. One of those sites, I was trying to log in, and you have to create a username. I put my name, that was already taken. I thought of a few other names with numbers and years, those were already taken. And then the site suggested to me Muffin. And I put the Ms in front of it, and when I logged in with MzMuffin, the site accepted it. So I just thought it was divinely inspired. Some force of nature gave me that name. So I used the name MzMuffin from then on. I thought that the term muffin in itself really summed up, my character and who I was. A muffin, in my dictionary definition, is a small cake. It's a cake made of a few different ingredients, flour, sugar, water, milk, and different fruit, nut, whatever you put in it. And the thing about it is it's all mixed together, and it has to undergo a certain amount of heat to become a delicious, nutritious breakfast, lunch, or playtime snack. So I thought, that characterized the person I was. That, there are a lot of different ingredients that go into it in terms of the ethnicity, in terms of culture, in terms of philosophical belief, and in terms of, outlook on life, diversity of life. And I thought, all of that has had to go through a lot of intense pressure. I spent a lot of years studying. My degrees, my academic degrees are in sociology and management. And then I spent a lot of time learning to do music just by myself online. I learned to use Pro Tools, Reason, Logic. I started to learn Cubase, and I put all of that together thinking like, my God, how much time have I spent, just developing this person? So it was under extreme pressure, and therefore, I'm a muffin. Well, the best time, of course, is having created something that you can shake your head and say, all right, yes, I did that. The worst time being an artist is that every artist will tell you, every musician, artists are never satisfied. There's always this pinnacle that we're trying to reach in terms of creation. And with every project, with every song, with every production beat built, there is always something that we did not get in the last one that we move towards in the future project. We are always looking for that zenith of creative expression that will totally please us. And I think that is the worst thing about being an artist. There is the satisfaction of having created, and then there's the dissatisfaction of not having reached one's mark and continuing on and on tirelessly. I tell people sometimes that in learning the music software programs, the production programs, and in actually building beats, I would start 4, 5 o'clock in the evening, and I will go on and on. I'm thinking, oh, well, it's night. And then at some point in time, I would look up and I will hear cocks crowing, and it is morning, and I don't know where the time has passed. And I have 2 daughters, and they will pass and they will watch me and they will disappear, and then they will get up in the morning and be watching me again, shaking their heads. Have you been there all night? And I didn't feel it, because that is how artists are. That is how music creators are. Once we get into the music and we start to listen, we go on and on. Sometimes people ask me, don't you listen to your own music? Yes, I do. But I have to take what we call an ear rest from listening to my music, because in the creation of it, you listen to it over 1,000 times. You just go over, you make an amendment, you go over it again, you make an amendment, and that keeps going until, well, you export a file. So, in listening to my own music, I am pleased to put it on after a little while break and hear it once again. Okay, in terms of being determined, I don't think of it so much as determination. I think of it as motivation to development. I believe in continuous self-development. I went to Bishop Anstey High School, and that school has taught me not only academic subjects, but it has taught me to always be the best you can be. Always try to be the best person you can be. Always try to aspire towards and achieve something better at one time, and then on another, moving from plateau to better plateau in your life, in terms of the person you are, in terms of what you give to your environment, in terms of who you strive to be. And of course, I am nowhere near the pinnacle of who I perceive myself to be, but it is always, an upward climb. One of the most challenging things about being an artist, about being a person who believes in continuous self-development, is the fact that most people don't understand what you're doing. They look at you and they think, why is she doing what she's doing? And some of them, because they do not understand, they either, they're annoyed, or they, seek to understand by being demotivating. And as an artist and as a person who is in self-development, I'm an academic as well, you have to always try to push those things from your mind, from your psyche, from your conscious thought, so that you can clear yourself to keep striving for better and better, to be a better and better person, to be a better and better artist, and for continuous self-development. I'm Charlene Johnston. I'm from a line of Johnsons, from one man who came here at the turn of the 20th century. He was a Queen's Counsel lawyer stationed in Martinique, and he came to Trinidad to be positioned in the Trinidad judiciary with my great-great-grandmother. So that's my great-great-grandfather, and he and my great-great-grandmother, who was a Douglas, African and East Indian mix. She only spoke French, came to Trinidad in the late 1800s. Well, it is quite diverse as per the Trinidad and Tobago environment that we live in. I am mixed with African and Amerindian and Spanish and British and East Indian. Well, I have a few dreams. Well, I would like to, really accomplish a pinnacle of achievement as a music artist. I would like to go into film production and acting and tell a few stories from my life and a few stories from the lives that I have encountered, and I would like to, and this is the final goal, the final destination, to take whatever financial success I get from those two avenues and create an organization in the Caribbean and on this side of the hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, an organization that will help people who are just on the middle ground. They are not in all environments. There are these group of people who they're not poor enough to get the social welfare that goes to, the impoverished and indigent, and they are not somehow rich enough to help themselves at some moments of time to strive to continue their own life goals and journeys. And I want to create an organization to help that strata of people and to help them help others. And that's my goal. And if I can say it now, the name of that organization would be Adar Pasture. It was given to me in my prayers. I told you I'm a Catholic charismatic, and I've spent a long time in the Catholic charismatic renewal. And in prayers and in reading the Bible, I got that I should call the organization Adar Pasture, because Adar in the book of Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees, is the day of justice, and that day is the 13th day of the 12th month, which is my birthday. I was born on the 13th day of the 12th month, and it is in Jewish history and in Christian history, that day is a day of justice. And I want to create an organization that will provide social justice for the disenfranchised. Well, there are a lot of organizations that deal with the very poor, and of course the very rich don't really need organizations. But I would like to create an organization for the people we call the middle class or the middle income people who just need like one piece of help this month or one type of assistance this year to get to their next level of achievement. Okay, the one thing I think people don't understand about me most is why I am doing what I am doing. I am 51 years old. I'll be 52 years old at the end of this year. And most people look at me and they're kind of puzzled as to why at this stage of life would someone choose to go through such a rigorous thing as not only an academic career, but a music and film career. Why would someone do themselves that? And my answer to that is, maybe I was supposed to do it sooner. I don't know. Or maybe God had me go through all of the things I've gone through before in terms of self-development to reach to the stage where I'm doing it now. By any way God did it, whatever, I believe that He has put it on my heart to do what I'm doing right now and to continue to do the music, the film, and the organization, to build the organization that, I think would give glory to his name and to help a lot of people. So if this is God's timing and God wants it now, I have made myself available for such. My OMG moment was to the embarrassment of my daughter, my first daughter, would have been giving birth. I was 22 years old when I had my first child. I was, young and married, and I was shocked that people lived through that experience. I did not. The shock of having given birth and the shock of the entire process was a little much for me, and it was an OMG moment for me. I thought, wow, I'm still alive. Look at that. After all of that, after the entire birth process, I thought, wow, people live through this. Look, I'm still alive. I wanted to give a big up to OMG magazine. So this is the artist MzMuffin. Keep moving, keep going. OMG magazine up front. Keep moving, keep going. They'll give you the info that you want. Big up Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, the world, my candy clique. This is MzMuffin for OMG magazine, and of course, blessing.